It's 11 p.m., and they're having the same fight again, the fourth time this month. Iris says, "You never let me in. I'm dating a wall," Theo says, "and nothing I do is ever enough for you." Both are certain the other is the problem. Both are wrong. Because sitting in that room are not two incompatible people. There are two alarms, each pressing the other one's button, perfectly, over and over. This is the episode the whole series has been building toward. What happens when the anxious one and the avoidant one find each other? So why did these two end up together at all? Part of it is simple math. Secure people tend to pair up and stay paired, which leaves the anxious and the avoidant circulating in the dating pool, meeting each other again and again. But underneath that is something more uncomfortable. Each one confirms what the other already believes. Theo's distance proves that love must be earned. Iris's pursuit proves that closeness means being swallowed. And crucially, this feels like chemistry. Familiar and safe are not the same thing, but the nervous system often can't tell them apart. Here's the machine itself. 4 steps, the same way every time. Step 1. Something small happens. A short reply, a cancelled plan, a tone. Step 2. Iris's alarm fires, so she moves toward him, texting, asking what's wrong, wanting to talk tonight. Step 3. That approach is exactly what triggers Theo's alarm, so he moves away, shorter answers, going quiet. Step 4. His withdrawal is the precise thing Iris's alarm was built to detect, so she escalates. And Step 4 feeds straight back into Step 3. There's no exit built into this loop. Each person is doing the reasonable thing according to their own system. Together, they've built a machine that hurts them both. Now watch the same evening from inside each of them, because they're living in completely different films. Iris's version, "I asked one simple question and he shut down. I'm being abandoned in slow motion and I'm not even allowed to say it hurts." Theo's version, "I said I needed 20 minutes and it became a 2-hour conversation about whether I love her." Here's the striking part. Both are accurate. Neither one is lying. Each is describing the half of the loop they can see and blind to the half they're causing. So why don't they just leave? Because this dynamic produces a very specific, very powerful feeling. The cycle isn't constant misery, it's distance, then a rupture, then an intense reunion, the apology, the long talk, the closeness that feels earned and enormous, and days later, distance again. Psychologists have a name for reward that arrives unpredictably: intermittent reinforcement. It's the pattern that produces the strongest attachment to a behavior, which means this can feel like the deepest love either of them has known, not despite the instability, but because of it. Intensity and intimacy are not the same thing. One calms your nervous system, the other keeps it on. This pattern has names in the research. Attachment researchers call it the anxious avoidant trap. Couples therapists call it the pursue-withdraw cycle. And it's one of the most studied dynamics in relationship science, partly because it predicts distress and separation so reliably across studies. But here's the reframe that changes everything, and it's worth saying slowly. The problem is not Iris, the problem is not Theo, the problem is the loop that exists between them. That matters practically, not just emotionally, because two people can face a loop together. They cannot face each other and win. So what actually breaks it? The first move belongs to both of them. Name the loop while you're inside it. The sentence sounds almost too simple. I think we're in the cycle again. Not "you're shutting down," not "you're being needy," just "the cycle is running." That sentence moves both people to the same side of the table, two people looking at one machine instead of two opponents. It works best if you agree on it in advance, on a calm day, so that at 11 p.m. it lands as a signal instead of an insult. You cannot negotiate the rules of a fight during the fight. Then each person has one specific job, and neither job is change your personality. The anxious move, before you reach out during a spike, wait out the wave, 20 minutes, phone in another room, not to suppress the need, just so the sentence that gets sent is written by you and not by the alarm. The avoidant move, when you take space, announce the return. I need an hour, I'm coming back at 9. That one detail does something remarkable. It gives the avoidant person the regulation they need, and it removes the abandonment signal that fires the other alarm. Each move is small, and each is aimed at your own system rather than your partner. You're not trying to fix them, you're trying to stop feeding the machine. A month later, it starts again. The short reply, the tightening chest, the closing door. Of course it does. But this time, Iris waits out the wave, and instead of 9 messages, she sends one honest sentence. And this time, Theo, halfway to the door, turns around and says, I need an hour, I'm coming back at 9. He comes back at 9, she's still there, nothing dramatic happens. And that's the entire victory. The evening that would have been a rupture is just an evening. The alarms both went off, they just didn't get to drive. And now the part most videos about this leave out. Everything I just described requires both people to be working on it. If only one is doing the work, this stops being a loop. It becomes one person managing themselves carefully while the other carries on. Understanding why someone withdraws does not obligate you to wait forever. Sometimes the healthy version of this knowledge isn't a repaired relationship. Sometimes it's leaving without deciding you were broken or that they were a villain. That's a legitimate outcome too. So here's your takeaway. If you keep having the same fight, you're probably not with the wrong person. You may simply be inside a loop neither of you designed. Name it out loud, wait out the wave before you send, announce the return before you go, and be honest about whether you're both doing it. One episode left, and it's the hopeful one, Earn Secure, how someone with an anxious or avoidant pattern slowly becomes secure. Subscribe so you don't miss the finale, and if you recognized your own relationship tonight, that recognition is the hardest part. See you in the next one.